Laura Morgan gazed at the stars from the observation deck of Earth Defense Force headquarters. The vast expanse of space no longer seemed peaceful after her encounter with the Vraxians. She knew they would return better prepared and more determined to eliminate her and her research. 3 weeks had passed since her narrow escape from the Lunar Research Station. Commander Kate Wilson had arranged protective custody, while Earth prepared for the coming conflict. The discovery Laura made about human cellular adaptability had been verified by multiple scientists. All confirmed what she had found. Humans possessed unique qualities that set them apart from other species in the galaxy. Laura turned as she heard footsteps approaching Olivia. Reyes, head of the scientific division, joined her at the viewport. The older woman had become her mentor and friend since her return to Earth. "The Council wants to meet with you tomorrow," Olivia said. "They need to discuss our next steps. The Vraxians have gone silent, but our intelligence suggests they are gathering allies." Laura nodded, unsurprised by this development. The Interstellar Consortium had strict rules about aggression between member species. The Vraxians would need political support. Before launching a full attack, they would paint humans as a threat to galactic stability using Laura's research as evidence. "What do you suggest I tell them?" Laura asked. Her discovery had thrust her into a political role she never wanted. As a xenobiologist, she preferred laboratories to council chambers. Olivia smiled gently. "Tell them the truth, that our adaptive capabilities make us different, not dangerous. The Vraxians attacked because they fear change, not because we pose an actual threat." Laura considered this. The protein complex she discovered allowed human cells to adapt to new environments and stresses at an accelerated rate. It explained why humans recovered from injuries faster than expected, why they survived in environments deemed hostile by alien standards, and why they continued to evolve while most species remained static. The next morning, Laura stood before the Earth Defense Council. 10 men and women responsible for protecting humanity from external threats. They listened intently as she explained her findings in simplified terms. "The cellular adaptability we possess isn't just physical," she explained. "It affects our neural pathways as well. We learn and adjust faster than other species. Our ancestors survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, and countless disasters because of this trait. It isn't a weapon, it's a survival mechanism." Admiral Patricia Winters, a stern woman with decades of military experience, leaned forward. "What the Vraxians saw as a threat, we see as hope," she said. "Our position in the consortium has always been precarious. We lack the technology of the Arcturians, the longevity of the Zanari, or the physical strength of the Vraxians. But this discovery changes everything." Council member Samuel West disagreed. "The Vraxians violated multiple treaties by attacking a civilian research station. We should use this opportunity to strengthen our position militarily. The consortium will expect us to respond." Laura watched as the council debated. Some advocated for peaceful resolution, others for military preparedness. She understood both perspectives. The Vraxians would not stop until they eliminated what they perceived as a threat, but open conflict could devastate both species. Their discussion was interrupted when the emergency alert sounded. A holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber, showing multiple unidentified vessels approaching Earth space. They had bypassed the outer detection grid somehow. Admiral Winters accessed the command. "Channel identify vessels and prepare defensive positions," she ordered. Her voice remained calm, despite the situation. The response came immediately. "Vraxian battlecruisers 5 confirmed. They are not responding to communication attempts." Laura felt her heart rate increase. The Vraxians had returned sooner than expected, and in greater force. Their typical strategy involved overwhelming displays of power to force surrender before any real conflict began. Commander Kate Wilson entered the chamber, her uniform showing signs of hasty preparation. "The Vraxians have deployed jamming technology," she reported. "Our long-range communications with the consortium are offline. We are effectively isolated." The council members exchanged concerned glances. This was not just an attack, but a calculated move to prevent Earth from calling for assistance under consortium. Treaty's Admiral Winters turned to Laura. "They came for you and your research," she stated bluntly. not as an accusation, but as a tactical assessment. What would they do next? Laura considered what she knew about Vraxian military doctrine. They would target communications first, then military installations. Finally, they would demand surrender with specific conditions, likely including her transfer to Vraxian custody and the destruction of all research related to human cellular adaptability. They will demand I surrender along with all data, she said. They believe they can contain the threat by eliminating the knowledge. Samuel West shook his head. The knowledge exists regardless. Destroying research won't change our biology precisely. Laura agreed, which means their true goal must be to study me, to understand how our adaptation works, so they can develop countermeasures. Admiral Winters nodded grimly. Then we must ensure they never get that opportunity, she said, turning to the council. I recommend immediate evacuation of key personnel to our secondary facility beneath the Rockies. Dr. Morgan should be among the first transported. The council voted unanimously. Approving the Admiral's recommendation, Laura found herself escorted to a secure transport within minutes. Commander Wilson accompanied her, explaining the situation as they hurried through underground passages. The secondary facility is self-contained, Wilson said. It can operate independently for years if necessary. We have laboratories there where you can continue. Your work, Laura stopped suddenly, her mind racing. What if that's exactly what they expect? She asked. The Vraxians are methodical. They would have studied our protocols. They know about the secondary facility commander. Wilson considered this possibility, her expression grave. You think it's a trap? Not yet, Laura said, but it could become one. The Vraxians excel at long-term strategy. They might allow us to gather in a single location before striking. Wilson activated her communication device. Admiral, we need to reconsider the evacuation plan. Dr. Morgan believes it may be compromised. The Admiral responded immediately, her voice slightly distorted by interference. What alternative do you suggest? Laura thought quickly about what she knew of Vraxian tactics and human advantages. The Vraxians relied on technology and overwhelming force. Humans adapted to changing circumstances. We should separate, not consolidate. She said, split key personnel into multiple locations. Keep moving unpredictable patterns. The Vraxians can't track what they can't predict. There was silence as the Admiral considered this recommendation. Finally, she responded, implemented immediately. You and Commander Wilson will proceed to location Echo. 3 others will be dispatched to separate facilities. Maintain minimal communication protocols. Wilson guided Laura to a different transport, explaining that Echo 3 was a small research outpost disguised as a civilian facility in the Arizona desert. It was not on any official records, making it unlikely the Vraxians would know of its existence. As their transport sped away from headquarters, Laura watched through the viewport as Vraxian ships positioned themselves around Earth. No weapons had been fired yet, but the message was clear. The Vraxians were prepared for war. The journey to Echo 3 took hours, during which Laura and Commander Wilson discussed possible strategies. The commander's military experience complemented Laura's scientific knowledge. Together, they developed ideas that neither could have conceived alone. Echo 3 appeared unremarkable from the outside, a collection of structures that resembled an agricultural research center. Inside, however, it contained advanced laboratories and communication equipment shielded from detection. Laura was introduced to the small team already stationed there. Dr. Maya Chen, a specialist in xenogenetics, analyst Robert Kelly, an expert in Vraxian culture, and Captain Samantha Fields, a tactical officer. They would be her companions and protectors in the coming days. That night, Laura stood outside watching the stars again, wondering how many other facilities like Echo 3 existed across Earth, and how many other scientists, soldiers, and leaders were hiding, preparing for whatever came next. She knew one thing with certainty. The Vraxians had made a critical error. They had given humans time to adapt, and adaptation was what humans did best. 3 days passed at Echo 3 without direct conflict. The Vraxian ships maintained their positions in Earth orbit, but had not yet launched an attack. Laura spent her time in the laboratory examining her own cellular samples, searching for ways To accelerate the natural adaptive processes humans possessed, Dr. Maya Chen worked alongside her, combining Laura's discovery with her own research in xenogenetics. Together, they developed a theory that human adaptive capabilities could be temporarily enhanced through controlled stress exposure. The body would respond by accelerating cellular regeneration and neural pathway formation. The process would be dangerous, untested, but potentially revolutionary. If successful, it would give humans a temporary advantage against technologically superior opponents. Laura volunteered to be the first test subject despite Commander Wilson's objections. "Someone needs to do it," she argued. "We don't have time for extended trials. The Varaxians could attack at any moment." Captain Samantha Fields supported Laura's decision. The captain had fought Varaxians in border skirmishes before joining Echo 3. She understood the threat they faced. "The Varaxians won't negotiate," she said. "They believe their position in the galactic hierarchy is ordained. They will never accept humans as equals." Dr. Chen prepared the treatment, a combination of carefully calibrated environmental stressors and chemical compounds designed to trigger adaptive responses. The procedure would last 6 hours, during which Laura's body would be pushed to its limits. Monitoring systems would ensure she remained within survivable parameters as Laura prepared for the procedure. Analyst Kelly entered the laboratory with urgent news. "The Varaxians have begun landing operations," he reported. "Small strike teams near major population centers. No direct engagement yet, but they appear to be establishing forward positions." Commander Wilson frowned. "This isn't their usual strategy," she said. "Varaxians prefer overwhelming force, not covert operations, unless they are searching for something," Laura suggested. "Or someone." The implication was clear. The Varaxians wanted Laura and her research. They were deploying search teams to locate her while maintaining the orbital threat as leverage against large-scale human resistance. "We need to accelerate our timeline," Laura said, turning to Dr. Chen. "How soon can we begin?" "Within the hour," Chen replied. "But I must emphasize the risks. We have no way to predict exactly how your body will respond." Laura nodded, understanding the danger. "The Varaxians are moving faster than we anticipated. We need to do the same." Commander Wilson established communication with Admiral Winters using a secure channel designed to bypass Varaxian jamming technology. The Admiral confirmed that search teams had been spotted in multiple locations. Most concerning, they appeared to be using advanced scanning technology, specifically calibrated to identify human genetic markers. "They can track unique genetic signatures," Wilson explained after ending the transmission. "They might be able to identify you specifically based on samples they collected from the lunar station." Laura felt a chill at this revelation. The Varaxians were more prepared than she had anticipated. Their technological advantages were significant. Dr. Chen suggested a partial solution. "Genetic masking," she said. "We can temporarily alter your surface cellular structure. Not permanently, but enough to confuse their scanners." While Dr. Chen prepared this additional treatment, Captain Fields organized the defense of Echo 3. The facility had been designed for secrecy, not combat. The small security team would not withstand a direct assault by Varaxian forces. Their only advantages were knowledge of the terrain and the facility's hidden subsystems. The treatment began at sunset. Laura reclined in a specialized chamber as Dr. Chen initiated the procedure. The first phase involved controlled temperature fluctuations, pushing her body to adapt to rapidly changing environments. The second phase introduced measured doses of radiation, forcing cellular repair mechanisms to accelerate. The final phase, the most dangerous, would stimulate her neural pathways, encouraging new connections to form at an unprecedented rate. Commander Wilson monitored the procedure from the adjacent room alongside analyst Kelly. The commander paced nervously while Kelly studied the incoming data. "If this works," he said softly, "it changes everything we thought we knew about human potential." Outside the facility, Captain Fields received an alert from her perimeter sensors. Movement detected approaching from the northeast, not matching any known wildlife patterns. She signaled her team to prepare for possible contact. "This might be nothing," she told them, "but we take no chances inside the treatment chamber." Laura experienced waves of pain as her body struggled to adapt to the induced stresses. Her vision blurred, consciousness wavering. She focused on her breathing, using meditation techniques to remain calm despite the physical distress. Hours passed each minute, stretching into what felt like days. Dr. Chen watched the monitors with growing amazement. The cellular changes were occurring, faster and more extensively than predicted. Laura's body was not just adapting, it was evolving, creating new structures and pathways that had never been documented in human physiology. Suddenly, alarms sounded throughout the facility. Captain Field's voice came through the communication system. Contact confirmed. She reported multiple Vraxian signatures approaching from 2 directions. They found us. Commander Wilson faced an impossible decision. The treatment was only halfway complete. Interrupting, it could cause severe damage to Laura's system. But continuing meant they might all be captured or killed. Before seeing any benefit, Dr. Chen provided the crucial information. "We've passed the critical threshold," she said. "Laura's cellular structure has already begun permanent changes. Stopping now would be worse than continuing." Wilson made her choice. "Continue the procedure," she ordered. "Captain Fields, can you delay them?" The captain responded with confidence. "We have preparations in place, Commander. They won't reach the main facility without a fight." Outside Echo 3, Captain Fields and her team activated the facility's hidden defenses. Holographic projectors created false structures, confusing the Vraxian approach. Sensor jammers distorted their readings, forcing them to rely on visual confirmation. Terrain modifications, subtle changes to the landscape, channeled the aliens into prepared zones where the human defenders held tactical advantages. The Vraxians advanced with characteristic precision, their 4-person units moving in coordinated patterns. Their exoskeletons gleamed in the moonlight, weapons ready. Each soldier scanned the environment continuously, looking for threats. The first unit encountered a holographic projection of the facility. They approached cautiously, weapons raised. When they discovered the deception, they adjusted their search pattern, but this brought them into the first prepared zone where Captain Fields had placed remotely detonated sonic disruptors. The devices activated emitting frequencies that interfered with Vraxian neural systems. Not lethal, but disorienting, affecting their coordination. The Vraxian soldiers staggered, their movements becoming erratic. Field's team used this opportunity to relocate, maintaining distance while guiding the aliens further into the defensive network. Inside the facility, the treatment entered its final phase. Laura felt her consciousness expanding, perceptions sharpening. She could hear conversations from adjacent rooms, detect subtle changes in air pressure, sense electromagnetic fields generated by the equipment surrounding her. The pain remained, but now existed alongside newfound awareness, a heightened state of being. Dr. Chen watched in astonishment as the monitoring equipment struggled to keep pace with the changes in Laura's system. Her neural activity had increased by 300%. Cellular regeneration operated at unprecedented rates. Even her sensory organs showed signs of adaptation, developing increased sensitivity. Outside, the battle intensified as more Vraxian units converged on the facility's actual location. Captain Fields and her team employed guerrilla tactics, striking quickly, then relocating using their knowledge of the terrain to maximum advantage. But the Vraxian numbers continued to increase. Their advanced technology gradually overcame the human countermeasures. Commander Wilson received updates from the defensive team while monitoring Laura's treatment. The situation deteriorated with each passing minute. They needed to complete the procedure and evacuate before being overwhelmed. The treatment ended as the first Vraxian soldiers breached the outer perimeter of the main facility. Laura emerged from the chamber, transformed, her movements fluid, precise, her eyes alert, scanning her surroundings with newfound clarity. She could feel the vibrations of approaching Vraxians, sense their bioelectric signatures through the facility's walls. "We need to move now," she said, her voice steady despite the physical changes she had undergone. "I can guide us past their search pattern." Dr. Chen gathered the research data while Commander Wilson contacted Captain Fields, ordering a strategic withdrawal. The captain acknowledged, arranging a distraction to cover their escape. Laura led them through the facility, moving with certainty. Despite never having explored its furthest sections, She avoided areas where Vraxian soldiers concentrated, guiding the group to a maintenance tunnel that connected to an emergency exit. As they moved, Laura explained what she experienced. "I can sense them," she said. "Their exoskeletons generate distinct energy signatures. I can feel the differences between individuals, track their movements, predict their patterns." Commander Wilson looked at her with amazement. The treatment worked better than we anticipated. The transport carried them north through the desert night. Laura sat quietly, her enhanced senses processing every detail of their surroundings. She could hear the heartbeats of her companions, feel the vibrations of distant aircraft, even detect subtle changes in the Earth's magnetic field. These new abilities were both exhilarating and overwhelming, requiring intense concentration. To manage, Commander Wilson established secure communication with Admiral Winters, reporting the loss of Echo 3 and the partial success of their research. The Admiral directed them to a new location, Facility Omega, built within a decommissioned mine in the mountains of Colorado. The facility had been designed as a final fallback position with advanced shielding against detection. During the journey, Dr. Chen continued monitoring Laura's condition. The cellular changes had stabilized but were still evolving in unexpected ways. Laura explained her experiences as Dr. Chen documented everything. "The sensory enhancement is just the beginning." Laura said, "I can process information faster, connect concepts that seemed unrelated before. It's like seeing a complete picture instead of individual pieces." Captain Fields drove while maintaining surveillance for pursuit. Her team had sacrificed themselves to ensure the group's escape. The captain mourned their loss but remained focused on the mission. The Vraxians would be tracking them using all available resources. The journey to Facility Omega would test every evasion technique she knew. Analyst Kelly studied the limited intelligence they received through secure channels. The Vraxian presence on Earth continued to expand, but remained primarily focused on search operations rather than open conflict. Most concerning were reports of a special Vraxian unit accompanying the search teams. Their distinctive black exoskeletons marked them as Seekers, elite hunters, specializing in tracking specific targets. "They've deployed Seekers," Kelly explained. "These aren't ordinary soldiers. They are genetically modified for enhanced tracking abilities. They can detect pheromone trails, days old, distinguish individual footprints among thousands, identify unique breathing patterns from considerable distances." Laura processed this information with her enhanced mind, considering possibilities. The Seekers were designed to find specific individuals across vast distances under any conditions. But they had one critical weakness. They relied on known biological markers to identify their targets. "I believe I can mask my presence from them," Laura said. "My cellular structure has changed significantly since the lunar station. The markers they use to track me will no longer match." Dr. Chen agreed, but added a warning. "The changes might confuse them temporarily, but Seekers are adaptive. They will update their parameters once they realize the discrepancy." The transport approached a mountain pass as dawn broke. Captain Fields guided the vehicle onto an unmarked road, barely visible among the trees. The final approach to Facility Omega required navigating a series of increasingly narrow passages designed to be impassable for larger vehicles or detectable from orbit. They reached the facility entrance concealed within what appeared to be an abandoned mining operation. Security systems scanned them before granting access. The massive doors opened, revealing a modern installation built within the mountain itself. Admiral Winters greeted them personally. She had relocated to Facility Omega after the Vraxian landing operations began. The facility now served as the primary command center for Earth's resistance. The Admiral led them through reinforced corridors to the central command room, where representatives from military, scientific, and political divisions coordinated global response efforts. "The situation is deteriorating," the Admiral explained. "Vraxian forces have established 20 search zones across 5 continents. They are methodical, efficient. Our conventional military cannot engage them directly without risking civilian casualties. And the orbital fleet prevents any large-scale movement of our forces." Laura observed the tactical displays with her enhanced perception, immediately identifying patterns in Vraxian deployment. Their search algorithm is systematic, she noted. They are expanding outward from locations matching specific environmental parameters. That suggests they have some understanding of what would be required for your treatment to succeed. Admiral Winters looked at Laura with renewed interest. Dr. Chen provided a brief summary of the treatment results and Laura's enhanced capabilities. The Admiral listened intently, her expression revealing both hope and concern. What? You describe crosses into territory we have only theorized about. She said human potential beyond current evolutionary boundaries. The question becomes, how do we use this advantage? Laura had been considering this question throughout their journey. The Vraxians expect us to hide to defend, she said. They believe their technology and physical advantages make our defeat inevitable. But what if we challenge that assumption? What if instead of running, we confront them directly? Captain Fields appeared, skeptical. A direct confrontation would be suicide even with your enhanced abilities. Their weapons technology alone outmatches anything we possess. Laura smiled. The Vraxians rely on technology, external advantages. My enhancements are internal, they cannot be detected or neutralized by conventional means. And more importantly, they can be replicated, Dr. Chen interjected with caution. The treatment is experimental, dangerous. We have only one successful case, but we have enough data to refine the process, Laura countered. We can identify the most promising candidates and create a specialized team, each member enhanced in ways that complement the others. Admiral Winters considered the proposal, weighing risks against potential benefits. Our intelligence suggests we have limited time before the Vraxians transition from search operations to full invasion. They are gathering reinforcements near the edge of our solar system. Once those forces arrive, our options become severely limited. The Admiral made her decision. We proceed with the enhanced team concept, she declared. Select your candidates. Dr. Morgan, Dr. Chen will oversee the treatments. Captain Fields will handle tactical training. I want this team operational within 7 days. The next week passed in a blur of activity. Laura worked with Dr. Chen to refine the treatment protocol, reducing risks while targeting specific enhancements. They selected 6 candidates, each chosen for particular genetic markers that suggested optimal response to different aspects of the procedure. Maya Chen focused on sensory enhancement modifications, allowing heightened perception across all senses beyond normal human limitations. Rebecca Walsh, a former Olympic athlete, received adjustments to her muscular system, increasing strength, endurance, and reaction time beyond peak human performance. Alan Peterson, an intelligence analyst, underwent neural enhancements designed to accelerate information processing and pattern recognition. Diane Foster, a communications specialist, received modifications to her vocal structures and auditory processing, enabling advanced communication capabilities including subsonic and ultrasonic ranges. Marcus Hamilton, a combat engineer, experienced enhancements to his proprioception and spatial awareness, allowing unprecedented precision in movement and coordination. Keith Rivera, a tactical officer, developed heightened intuition and predictive capabilities, bordering on precognition. Each treatment was customized, targeting specific systems while minimizing stress on the body. The process remained dangerous, requiring constant monitoring and adjustment. But under Laura's guidance, with Dr. Chen's expertise, all 6 candidates survived. The changes manifested differently in each individual, some more pronounced than others, but all exhibited capabilities beyond normal human limitations. Captain Fields developed training protocols designed to help the enhanced team members master their new abilities and learn to work as a coordinated unit. The captain emphasized adaptability over rigid tactics, recognizing that their advantage lay in unpredictability. Laura led the team through each training scenario, her own abilities continuing to evolve. She could now sense the unique energy, signatures of her teammates, tracking their movements without visual confirmation, communicate through subtle bioelectric fields, and anticipate actions before they occurred. The team followed her example, developing their own techniques for utilizing their enhancements. Admiral Winters monitored their progress while coordinating global resistance efforts. The Vraxians had expanded their search zones, establishing forward bases near major population centers. Their presence remained primarily non-confrontational, maintaining the illusion of peaceful occupation. While methodically searching for Laura and the research data, on the 7th day as the team completed their final training exercise, the facility sensors detected a disturbing development. Multiple Vraxian vessels had entered Earth atmosphere. Their descent trajectories indicated coordinated landing operations near major military installations. The reinforcements had arrived sooner than expected. Admiral Winters called an emergency briefing. The Vraxians are accelerating their timeline, she explained. Intelligence suggests they plan to transition from search operations to full military control within 24 hours. Our window of opportunity is closing. Laura studied the tactical display, with her enhanced perception, immediately identifying the pattern in Vraxian deployments. Their primary command vessel had established position over North America, directly above a specific location in the Rocky Mountains, approximately 200 miles from Facility Omega. Darkness fell over the Rocky Mountains as the enhanced team prepared for their mission. Laura studied the tactical display showing the Vraxian command vessel hovering above the cloud cover. Its massive form resembled an elongated hexagon surrounded by smaller escort ships. Standard Vraxian configuration prioritized defense over maneuverability. The prototype stealth aircraft waited in the hidden hangar of Facility Omega. Its sleek black surface absorbed, rather than reflected light, making it nearly invisible to conventional detection systems. The craft had been designed using reverse-engineered Vraxian technology combined with human innovation. It represented the pinnacle of Earth. Defense research, Captain Fields reviewed the mission parameters with the team. One final time. The insertion point would be an auxiliary maintenance port near the vessel's central section. Vraxian design philosophy emphasized efficiency over security, creating predictable access points for routine operations. The team would have a 15-second window to exit the stealth craft and enter the Vraxian vessel before sensor rotation resumed. Once aboard, they would move through maintenance corridors to the command center. Laura had memorized Vraxian ship layouts during her time as a xenobiologist. Her enhanced mind now contained perfect recall of every passage, junction, and security checkpoint. They would avoid detection for as long as possible, then strike with overwhelming speed when confrontation became inevitable. Admiral Winters addressed the team before their departure. This mission represents our best chance to disrupt Vraxian operations, she said. Each of you carries the hopes of humanity. Your enhanced abilities give us an advantage. The Vraxians cannot use that advantage wisely. The team boarded the stealth craft, each member equipped with minimal gear to maintain mobility. Conventional weapons would be ineffective against Vraxian exoskeletons. Instead, they carried specialized tools designed to exploit known weaknesses in Vraxian physiology. Their greatest weapons, however, were their enhanced bodies and minds. The pilot, a veteran of experimental aircraft testing, guided the craft from the hangar through a hidden tunnel that emerged several miles from the facility. The exit had been disguised as a natural rock formation, shielded against detection. Once clear of the mountain, the craft accelerated upward, utilizing gravitational dampening technology to minimize its energy signature. Laura sensed the subtle changes in atmospheric pressure as they ascended. Her enhanced vision penetrated the darkness, identifying the Vraxian vessels against the starlit sky. The command ship loomed above them, its surface marked with intricate patterns of light indicating active systems. She could detect the energy signatures of weapons arrays, sensors, and propulsion systems, each representing potential threats and opportunities. Beside her, Rebecca Walsh monitored her enhanced musculature, preparing for the extreme physical demands of the mission. Alan Peterson processed tactical data, his enhanced neural pathways calculating probabilities for various scenarios. Diane Foster maintained communication, silence her modified vocal structures ready to emit specific frequencies that could disrupt Vraxian coordination. Marcus Hamilton and Keith Rivera positioned themselves near the exit hatch, their enhanced senses focused on the approaching vessel. The stealth craft approached from below, using the larger mountains as cover against peripheral detection. As they closed in on the Vraxian command vessel, the pilot activated final stealth protocols, reducing power to all non-essential systems. The craft now operated in near silence, guided more by the pilot's instincts than instrumentation. Laura felt the moment approaching. Her enhanced senses detected the subtle energy shift as the Vraxian sensor array began its rotation, creating the predicted blind spot. The pilot received the signal and executed a perfect approach, bringing the craft alongside the auxiliary maintenance port. Now Laura commanded. The team moved with synchronized precision, exiting the stealth craft and attaching themselves to the Vraxian vessel. Using specialized magnetic anchors, Marcus Hamilton located the maintenance port, his enhanced spatial awareness allowing him to identify the access panel despite its camouflage design. Keith Rivera applied a frequency emitter to the panel, bypassing the security system without triggering alarms. The port opened, revealing a narrow passage designed for Vraxian maintenance drones. The team entered quickly as the stealth craft detached and descended back toward Earth. The access closed behind them, sealing them inside the Vraxian command vessel. The first phase of their mission completed successfully. Inside the vessel, Laura oriented herself using her memorized schematics combined with her enhanced perception. She could detect the movement of Vraxian crews through vibrations in the floor sense. Power fluctuations in nearby systems even smell the distinctive biological markers of different Vraxian castes. This way, she directed, leading the team through maintenance corridors rarely used by the Vraxian crew. The passageways were designed for utility, not comfort, narrow and dimly lit with exposed conduits running along the walls. The human team moved silently, their enhanced bodies adapting to the unfamiliar environment. They encountered their first Vraxian 10 minutes into the infiltration. A maintenance technician entered the corridor ahead of them, its attention focused on a diagnostic device in its lower arms. The Vraxian wore minimal exoskeleton armor, typical for non-combat personnel. Its upper eyes scanning readouts while lower eyes monitored its path. Rebecca moved before the alien could react, her enhanced muscles propelling her forward with impossible speed. She struck precisely at the neural cluster, beneath the Vraxian's translucent neck membrane. The alien collapsed silently, temporary neural disruption, rendering it unconscious without permanent damage. Marcus and Keith secured the unconscious Vraxian, hiding it within a maintenance alcove, designed for equipment storage. The team continued their advance, moving deeper into the vessel toward its central command section. Laura sensed increased activity ahead. Multiple Vraxian life signatures concentrated around a major junction. There, enhanced hearing detected fragments of communication suggesting heightened alert status. They know something is wrong. Alan whispered, his enhanced mind processing the patterns in Vraxian movements. Not our presence specifically, but something has made them suspicious. Laura nodded in agreement. We adjust our route, she decided, leading the team through an alternative passage. This one designed for waste management systems. The narrow tube, rarely used during standard operations, would bypass the concentrated Vraxian presence. The detour added time to their approach but maintained their stealth advantage. As they navigated the alternative route, Diane detected unusual communication patterns among the Vraxian crew. Their standard operational frequencies carried additional encryption, suggesting elevated security protocols. The Vraxians are implementing security measures beyond normal parameters, she reported. They may be responding to our stealth craft's approach, despite its countermeasures. Laura processed this information. The Vraxians were adaptive intelligent. Their technological advantages remained significant, even against enhanced humans. We accelerate, she decided. Our advantage diminishes with time. The team increased their pace, moving with greater urgency through the vessel's internal structure. They encountered 2 more maintenance personnel, neutralizing them without alerting the broader crew. But each encounter increased the risk of discovery. They reached the approach to the command center 40 minutes after boarding. The central hub of Vraxian operations occupied the core of the vessel. Surrounded by multiple security layers, Laura sensed at least 20 Vraxian officers within the command center, including the vessel's commander, a high-ranking Vraxian distinguished by elaborate exoskeleton modifications. Direct confrontation would be impossible even with their enhancements. The Vraxian officers would be equipped with advanced weapons and full combat exoskeletons. Laura studied the surrounding systems with her enhanced perception, identifying power conduits, environmental controls, and communication relays. We don't need to enter the command center, she realized. We just need to isolate it. Laura shared her plan. Through subtle bioelectric signals, the enhanced team members receiving her thoughts without spoken communication. The strategy required precise coordination, utilizing each member's unique capabilities in sequence. Rebecca and Marcus would access the environmental control system, redirecting atmospheric composition within the command center. Keith and Alan would disrupt power distribution, creating cascading failures in critical systems. Diane would manipulate communication frequencies, preventing coordination between command personnel and the broader vessel. Laura would access the central computer core, extracting strategic data while inserting modified operational protocols. The team separated, each moving to their designated position. Laura accessed a maintenance terminal, her enhanced mind interfacing with Vraxian technology. The alien computer systems operated on principles different from human design, utilizing biological components alongside mechanical ones. But her enhanced cognition adapted, quickly deciphering protocols and access pathways. The evacuation pod streaked through Earth's atmosphere, leaving a trail of superheated air in its wake. Laura monitored their descent using her enhanced senses to detect pursuit. The Vraxian response seemed disorganized, scattered, suggesting their sabotage of the command vessel had been effective. At least temporarily, the pod communication system activated unexpectedly. A transmission from Facility Omega, Admiral Winter's voice, clear despite atmospheric interference. We have your approach vector. Recovery team en route to coordinates track. Shows Vraxian interceptors mobilizing expedite landing procedures. Laura acknowledged the transmission, then addressed her team. The enhanced humans had performed beyond expectations, each utilizing their specialized abilities with precision and creativity. But the mission had taken its toll. Their enhanced physiology required significant energy, creating exhaustion even with their improved endurance. The pod navigation system indicated their landing zone, a remote valley 30 miles from Facility Omega. The location provided natural cover against orbital detection, while remaining accessible to ground transport. Laura adjusted their trajectory slightly, improving the angle of descent, reducing thermal signature. They landed harder than planned, the pod's alien design not optimized for Earth gravity. The impact jolted through the vessel but caused no serious damage. The enhanced team exited quickly, dispersing into the surrounding forest as Rebecca and Marcus concealed the pod using natural materials, their enhanced strength allowing them to move fallen trees and large boulders with minimal effort. Earth Defense Force vehicles arrived 20 minutes later, camouflage transports designed to avoid detection from above. The team boarded quickly as Captain Fields herself supervised their extraction. The captain had insisted on leading the recovery operation despite the risks. The drive back to Facility Omega proceeded without incident, suggesting their diversionary tactics had successfully confused Vraxian tracking systems. Laura used the time to organize the extracted data, preparing to present their findings to Admiral Winters and the Defense Council. The information they had obtained would reshape Earth's resistance strategy. Upon arrival at the facility, they were escorted directly to the command center, where Admiral Winters awaited their report. The Admiral appeared tired, stress evident in her features, but her eyes showed renewed hope as the enhanced team entered. Laura connected her neural interface to the facility systems, transferring the extracted Varaxian data. The strategic plans, operational directives, and deployment schedules appeared on the central display. The information more comprehensive than anyone had anticipated. The Varaxians' plan extends beyond simple occupation. Laura explained, their ultimate objective is biological control. They intend to introduce compounds into Earth's atmosphere and water systems designed to suppress our adaptive capabilities, essentially preventing further human evolution. The Admiral studied the data, her expression grave. This confirms our worst fears, she said. They see humanity as an evolutionary threat, not merely a current competitor. Laura nodded. The data also revealed something unexpected. The Vraxian High Command remains divided on the appropriate response to human potential. Some advocate for complete suppression, others for coexistence under controlled conditions. A minority faction even suggests potential cooperation, viewing human adaptability as complementary to Vraxian technological advancement. This division presents an opportunity. Laura continued. We can exploit these political fractures within their command structure. Admiral Winters called an emergency session of the Defense Council, presenting the enhanced team's findings and their implications for Earth's response. The revelations changed the strategic calculus from simple resistance to potential negotiation from a position of demonstrated strength. The Council's deliberation lasted hours as various options were considered. Laura and her enhanced team participated, providing insights based on their unique perspectives and abilities. Eventually, a consensus emerged, a two-part strategy combining military preparedness with diplomatic initiative. The first component involved accelerating the enhancement program, expanding it to select military and scientific personnel. The process remained dangerous, but Dr. Chen had refined the protocols, reducing risks while maintaining effectiveness. Each enhanced human represented a significant advantage against Vraxian technology. The second component proved more controversial: direct communication with the moderate faction within Vraxian leadership. The extracted data included identification codes and communication protocols for specific Vraxian commanders. Those identified as potential moderates might be approached through secured channels. The goal being negotiation, rather than continued conflict. Laura volunteered to lead this diplomatic initiative. Her enhanced abilities, combined with her scientific background, made her uniquely qualified to communicate with the Vraxian leadership. She understood their biology, psychology, and social structures in ways no unenhanced human could. Her proposal received approval, despite concerns about her safety. 3 days later, Laura sat before a specialized communication array designed to access Vraxian secure channels. The technology combining Earth and alien components allowed directed transmission to specific Vraxian receivers while minimizing detection risk. She had selected Subcommander Vex Toral as her initial contact. The Vraxian officer had demonstrated unusual interest in human culture before the current conflict and had argued against aggressive intervention in internal communications. The transmission activated, creating a direct link to the subcommander's personal receiver. Laura spoke in formal Vraxian language, her enhanced vocal structures able to produce the complex harmonics required for proper communication. Subcommander Vex Toral. This is Dr. Laura Morgan of Earth. I request confidential communication regarding mutual interests. The response came after several tense minutes. The subcommander's image appearing on the display. His exoskeleton bore the distinctive markings of the science division, less ornate than warrior cast designs but indicating significant rank within the Vraxian hierarchy. Dr. Morgan. Your direct communication is unexpected. The subcommander spoke in accented but clear human language. Your actions against our command vessel were most disruptive. Laura maintained formal posture, recognizing the importance of nonverbal cues in Vraxian communication. The demonstration of human capabilities was necessary to establish basis for meaningful dialogue. Continued conflict serves neither species' interests. The subcommander studied her, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of thoughtful consideration. Your species has undergone significant advancement since our initial assessment. The protein complex you discovered represents evolutionary potential. Beyond our models. Laura nodded, acknowledging his observation. Human adaptability has always been our defining characteristic. The recent enhancements simply accelerate natural processes. They represent potential, not threat. The conversation continued. For hours, Laura and the subcommander discussing biological, technical, and political aspects of human-Vraxian relations. The Vraxian officer revealed deeper divisions within their command structure than the extracted data had indicated. The current aggressive approach had been implemented against significant internal opposition. Subcommander Vex Toral represented a growing faction within Vraxian society that recognized the potential benefits of cooperation with adaptive species. Their technological development had plateaued in recent centuries, their biological evolution essentially static. The discovery of human adaptive capabilities offered possibilities for mutual advancement. I will arrange communication with others who share my perspective, the subcommander eventually stated. The Supreme Commander remains committed to current strategy, but requires consensus for major operations. Your demonstration has created opportunity for reconsideration. Laura understood the significance of this. Commitment Vraxian social structures valued consensus requiring substantial agreement before implementing large-scale plans. By fostering division within their leadership, she could delay further aggressive action, potentially creating space for negotiated resolution. Over the following weeks, Laura established communication with additional moderate Vraxians. Each conversation revealed further opportunities for leveraging internal political divisions. Meanwhile, the Enhanced Human Program expanded under Dr. Chen's supervision. New candidates underwent the procedure, each emerging with unique manifestations of human potential. Admiral Winters coordinated global resistance efforts, utilizing the intelligence gained from the command vessel. The Vraxian occupation forces found themselves consistently outmaneuvered by smaller, more adaptive human units. Enhanced humans integrated into key tactical positions provided critical advantages, despite inferior technology and numbers. 60 days. After the initial Vraxian arrival, the Supreme Commander requested direct communication with Earth leadership. The aggressive faction had lost influence as their strategy failed to produce desired results. The moderate faction led by Subcommander Vex Toral now held sufficient political capital to force reconsideration.